recently that didn't quite turn out the way that you expected it to, or maybe you're dealing with a recent disappointment that's left you feeling angry and resentful or bitter or unhappy with how the events turned out. That's what we're going to be talking about in today's video, is how expectation is really the true thief of your joy. And I'm going to be giving you 3 tips that will help you turn the way that you look expectation all around so that you can have a more empowering way to deal with disappointment, so that you're not frustrated, you're not angry, and you're not upset when things don't work out quite as planned. So let's just dive right into the tips. So the very first tip is, don't ask, why is this happening to me? Ask, what can I learn from this? By asking yourself, what can you learn from this? It helps you step out from a place of, being victimized by the situation, being victimized by maybe people who didn't behave the way that you had wanted, you expected them to, or they didn't treat you the way that you deserve to be treated. So by being able to step back and ask yourself, what can I learn from this? You're essentially just asking yourself, what's the greater lesson here, so that you can learn from it, create a greater awareness around it, and help yourself not remain stuck in this feeling of anger and bitterness and frustration that can happen when we place our expectations too high. And then when those expectations aren't met, feeling, completely victimized by the situation. So it's more empowering if you ask yourself, what is the purpose here of this challenge? What is it trying to teach me? What is this experience teaching me? What can I learn from it? How can I grow? How can I do better going forward? So the next tip that I have for you, which is going to bring me into my next point here, is to lower your expectations. And I'm not talking about lowering your standards here. I'm talking about lowering your expectations so that you're not setting yourself up for failure. It's very hard to meet expectations, for everyone to meet expectations when there's other people involved, especially. I had this expectation myself recently, where I am a mother and I have a home-based business, and I have a lot of lofty goals for myself for the year of 2020, and I had a calendar set out for myself for the month of January, and thinking about goals and things that I wanted to achieve this month. And then as it turns out, we get into the second week of January. January is starting off very strong. I was committing to all of my goals that I had set for myself, meeting deadlines, being very strict about showing up every single day. And then suddenly our entire house was taken down by stomach flu. And at first I was very frustrated by this, and I started to really feel guilty, and I felt a sense of, being too far behind. And then I started to think about all of the things that I wouldn't be able to accomplish this month. I wouldn't meet my monthly financial goals. And I started to feel pretty down and depressed. And what I realized is that I was really setting my expectations too high. I only have 18 hours a week to work on average. And that's when everything in my life is running smoothly. And there's only so many things that you can get done in that time frame, working with one-on-one clients, dealing with all of the back-end stuff in your business, and taking care of administrative things, and still getting out there and putting out content and trying to get visible and get in front of your audience, and all of the things that come along with running an online business. And what I realized is that my schedule and my expectation is that every single day I would be able to show up. Every single week I'd have 20 hours roughly to work on my business. And it's just not realistic when I have 2 small kids at home, a 2 and a 4-year-old, with no family in town to just come on over and help out when these things happen. So I needed to be realistic with where I'm at in my life and this journey that I'm on, and set more realistic expectations for myself, which then helps to empower me as I move forward, so that I don't set myself up for failure and get disappointed or angry or get upset by anyone when, things don't go the way that I had planned. So it's really important to make sure that you're not setting your expectations too high, because they will be impossible to meet. In fact, you might be able to do it once or twice, but it won't be sustainable for you. And you can't control what everything around you or what everyone around you is doing, and how things are going to happen in your business. You can't control when people get sick, or chronic illnesses, or there's emergencies, or other priorities happen in your life. So don't lower your standards, lower your expectations in life. And that brings me to my third point, which is to just simply surrender to what is. So this is really about accepting where you're at right now in your journey and just finding joy with that. So using the example of me being a stay-at-home mom with with a business and 2 young kids, then, just accepting that that's how it's going to be. Some weeks I'm not going to have 20 hours a week to work. Some days it might only be 5. And it's about just showing up every single day anyway and doing what I can with the time that I have, and still making time for the other priorities in my life, which is obviously my family is the most important thing, and making sure that I am meeting the most important commitments in my life and the most important commitments in my business. So that means that other things may have to fall by the wayside when things don't run as smoothly. Kids get sick. I need to put my focus somewhere else because of something else that's happening in my life. So just about taking a step back, examining your life through an objective viewpoint, and having a bit of grace with yourself, and just surrendering to what happens. And the moment that I surrendered in my business after the week where we were hit by the stomach flu, I just recognized that it's not realistic for me to think that I can show up to work every day. Some days kids are going to be sick and other curveballs will be thrown my way. And the moment that I surrendered, the next week I got 2 new clients, which was totally unexpected. I thought I wasn't going to hit my monthly targets for the month. And the next thing you know, this divine sort of intervention happened that said, no, things are still happening and you're still showing up every single day in your business. You still made progress last week. I was still able to connect with people and make connections that led to people wanting to work with me. So do what you can, accept where you're at. Don't set your expectations too high. Keep them realistic. And just make sure that you're learning from it. Don't sit in a place of feeling victimized by your situation. So that is all I have for you in today's video. I would love to hear how you deal with disappointment and what you think about expectation being the true thief of your joy. So please leave a comment below, and don't forget to subscribe so that you can get notifications for all of my videos that I will be putting out every single week. And if you want to check me out, my name is Krista, and I'm a soulful business coach, and I work with creative and soulful business owners to help them get their voice and their vision out into the world so that they can attract their dream clients and do that in full alignment with who they are. So if you have any questions, please leave a comment. I look forward to catching up with you soon. Bye.